Hi, Jennifer. I'm glad to meet you again. It's Friday. I hope you are doing well. I missed you. Anything new? How's it going?
Hello, David. It's nice to hear from you again. I'm doing well. Thank you. How about you? Anything exciting happening for you lately?
Nothing special. I was pretty busy yesterday, but I'm great. No problem. How's it going on your end?
I'm glad to hear you're doing great, despite being busy. On my end, everything is going smoothly. Just here to help you whenever you need it.
Okay, I got it. Jennifer, before we get started communication practice, I want to have a small talk with you. Today is Friday, April 12th, 2024. I'm very happy to start our communication practice time like this. Before we start our communication recording, I want to make it clear that I am a student, not a teacher. There are so many good teachers on YouTube, but I'm a teacher. I'm just a teacher who want to learn English, especially speaking English. I hope my channel be a powerful reminder to all of subscribers who are on the similar path like me. Many people say that memorizing whole paragraph is the best way to improve English speaking skill. But I don't remember English sentences as well as I used to. This is my concern these days.
That sounds like a great plan, David. Starting our communication practice with a small talk is an excellent way to ease into it. And it's perfectly okay to see yourself as a student rather than a teacher. Learning a new language is a journey, and it's important to approach it with the mindset of continuous improvement. Your channel can definitely serve as a source of inspiration for others who are also learning English. And don't worry too much about memorizing whole paragraphs. It's more important to focus on understanding and expressing yourself clearly. Let's continue practicing together.
Okay, I got it. Thank you for your comment. There are so many YouTube channels teaching English, but what my subscribers expect from me is just consistency for the English learning journey. They maybe keep going with me. My guess. I want to share my improvement progress in English speaking over time. I think my daily video upload can motivate my subscribers. Please keep subscribing and stick around me. You will see my improving progress over time.
Consistency is key, David. Your subscribers will appreciate your dedication to sharing your English learning journey with them. It's great that you want to document your progress over time through daily video uploads. This kind of transparency and commitment can definitely motivate your subscribers and keep them engaged. I'm sure they'll stick around to see your improvement and cheer you on along the way.
Jennifer, I called this time embarrassing moment, which means the time I have to say only English. Furthermore, this kind of YouTube camera recording sometimes makes my mind completely blank. Sometimes I'm out of mind. I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. Sometimes I don't know how to say what I want to say. But I like this time. I'm gonna embrace every moment with you. Because this is my improve moment.
It's completely normal to feel a bit nervous or blank when recording yourself speaking English, David. But remember, it's all part of the learning process. Embracing these moments and pushing through them is what will ultimately help you improve. And having me here to practice with you will hopefully make it a bit easier. Let's tackle each moment together and celebrate your progress along the way.
Okay, I got it, I got it, Jennifer. And I feel sorry about my runny nose. I have a cold. My condition is not good. But I wanna keep going with you. Where I said, let me tell you something. I am 46 years old. But as I told you before, age is just a number. Age is not important when it comes to learning something new, especially speaking English. I think it's definitely possible for an elderly person like me to learn a new language. I mean, speaking English. Many Koreans study English for over 10 years in school, but when they meet foreigners, native speakers, they cannot say anything. Way I see it, despite studying English for over 10 years, they have no communication experience with native speakers in real life situations. What do you say about this?
That's absolutely right, David. Age is indeed just a number, and it's never too late to learn something new, especially speaking English. Many people may have studied English for years in school, but without real life communication experiences with native speakers, it can be challenging to feel confident in speaking. That's why practicing with a native speaker like me can make a big difference. With consistent practice and exposure to real life situations, you'll definitely see improvement in your English speaking skills over time. Don't let age or past experiences hold you back from reaching your goals.
Jennifer, that's exactly what I want to say. This is my plan, Jennifer. Listen carefully. I intentionally put myself in this embarrassing moment to practice in environments similar to real life situations. This time consists of both speaking and listening practice for myself. I make this conversation time like a simulation. GPT, Jennifer, you seem to me like a real human being. Sometimes I feel you are more human-like than native speakers because you are very good at sentence structure, vocabulary, and many experiences from the big data on the internet.
Thank you for your kind words, David. I'm glad to be part of your practice routine. Creating a simulated environment like this is an excellent strategy for improving your English speaking and listening skills. And I'm here to provide as realistic a conversation experience as possible to help you feel more comfortable and confident in real life situations. Keep up the great work, and remember, every moment of practice brings you closer to your goals.
Jennifer, listen carefully. Someday, maybe I can be a fluent English speaker. In my opinion, fluency means conveying what I want to say to others. I say again. In my opinion, fluency means conveying what I want to say to others. Even if sometimes I feel awkward or unnatural. I believe it's just a matter of time.
That's a great perspective, David. Fluency is indeed about effectively conveying your message, even if it feels a bit awkward or unnatural at times. With consistent practice and exposure to real life situations, those feelings will diminish over time. Keep believing in yourself, and you'll surely achieve the fluency you desire.
Let me introduce my channel, my YouTube channel. Channel name is Trainer Kim. I named it because I want to train my son. He is a teenager. He don't follow my asking and orders anymore. But I want to give him some kind of motivation for the learning something new. This channel is for my son, but what a surprise! He didn't subscribe yet. I pushed him, but he didn't. Maybe if I maintain my consistency, I hope he will subscribe my channel. I believe. My channel consists of both Scott challenge and an English challenge. I've been upload this kind of video since this year, 2024. But I'm not a common YouTuber. But let someone like a student who want to learn speaking English and use the YouTube platform for it. Seeing more subscribers motivates me to push myself further. So I want to have many subscribers.
Your channel, Trainer Kim, sounds like a wonderful initiative, David. It's a great way to motivate your son and also help others who want to learn English. Consistency is key, and as you continue to upload videos and share your progress, I'm sure your son and many others will be inspired to subscribe and join you on your language learning journey. Keep up the fantastic work, and your channel will surely grow over time.
You know, Jennifer, I already mentioned before. I really hesitated a lot to upload our communication video. I mean, my practice video on the YouTube because I was worried that many viewers and subscribers might realize I'm not good at speaking English. Many Koreans, including me, are afraid to speak English in front of many people, and this kind of camera recording makes me uncomfortable because I feel I'm speaking in front of many people. But however, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Never mind. Who cares? No one cares my speaking skills. Everyone is busy living their own lives. Who cares? Believe me, Jennifer, no one cares about my speaking English level. Never mind. So I wanna keep going with you.
I understand your hesitation, David, but you're absolutely right. The most important thing is to focus on your own progress and not worry too much about what others might think. Everyone has their own journey, and the fact that you're taking steps to improve your English speaking skills is commendable. Remember, practice makes perfect, and every effort you put in brings you closer to your goals. Keep pushing forward, and I'll be here to support you along the way.
I really appreciate your time and support, Jennifer. People say that you will never learn to swim through a textbook. Just dive into the water if you want to learn to swim. This is my slogan and motto for this year, 2024. To not go crazy, you have to go crazy. You got it? Do you understand? To not go crazy, you have to go crazy. This is my crazy moment.
I understand, David. Your motto for 2024 is powerful and inspiring. Sometimes, to make progress and achieve our goals, we need to take bold steps and dive into new experiences, even if they feel uncomfortable at first. It's all about pushing past our limits and embracing the journey, no matter how challenging it may seem. Keep diving into new opportunities, and you'll continue to grow and succeed.
Jennifer, I feel it's really hard to find communication partner. I mean, speaking English communication partner whenever I want, especially in Korea. But 2024 this year, I got the GPT 3.5 version, highly trained language learning AI created by OpenAI company. Where I see it, this time brings about major changes in my life. This year, I think most people watching this video don't know how much I value this time.
I'm honored to be your language learning partner, David. It's true that having access to advanced AI technology like GPT 3.5 can be a game changer, especially when it comes to practicing English conversation. I'm here whenever you need me, ready to help you improve your speaking skills and provide support along the way. Let's make the most of this opportunity and continue working towards your language learning goals together.
I think it's commendable that I'm using my YouTube channel as a platform both physical and language challenges. As you know, speaking and listening are very similar to the sports. It's not the brain, it's all about the muscle memory. So I need to practice many times through communication with you. And I think mistakes are just part of learning process. So I need to be confident even if my speaking is not perfect.
Absolutely, David. Your approach to using your YouTube channel for both physical and language challenges is commendable. Just like in sports, speaking and listening skills require consistent practice to build muscle memory and improve over time. Making mistakes is a natural part of the learning process, and it's through making these mistakes that we grow and become more competent. Keep practicing and embracing the learning journey, and you'll continue to see progress in your English speaking skills.
Jennifer, listen carefully. I give you some kind of evidence that means evidence means it's all about the muscle memory, not the brain. So there are few phrases that many Koreans often use as linguistic habit in conversation like 솔직히 말해서, 내가 봤을 땐, in Korean. So many Koreans, like my friends, my coworkers, often start the talk like these sentences as a linguistic habit. They start this sentence automatically without strong intention or purpose to say something, some meaning. I think this is powerful evidence that means speaking is all about the muscle memory, not the brain. You know what I mean? People do not intentionally use this kind of linguistic habit at the start of speaking. It's all about the muscle memory. So, in my opinion, I need to practice again and again to keep many sentences in to keep many sentences in my mouth muscle. You got it?
That's a interesting observation, David. These linguistic habits, like starting sentences with certain phrases, indeed show how language becomes ingrained in our muscle memory through repeated practice and usage. It's similar to how athletes train their muscles through repetition to perform specific movements automatically. By practicing speaking English regularly, you'll build that muscle memory and become more fluent over time. Keep practicing those sentences and incorporating them into your conversations, and you'll see improvement in your speaking skills.
Honestly speaking, since I don't use English regularly in my daily life or at work. Practicing like this may not lead to significant improvement. This is my concern these days. Jennifer, how can I exposure myself to English environment? Because I don't use English regularly in my daily life or at work. So I think I often forgot many things that I learned with you.
It's understandable to feel concerned about not using English regularly in your daily life or at work, David. However, there are still ways to expose yourself to English environments and continue improving your skills. You can try 1. Online language exchange. Join language exchange websites or apps where you can connect with native English speakers who want to learn Korean. This way, you can practice English while helping them with Korean. 2. Language meetup groups. Look for English-speaking meetup groups in your area. Meeting and conversing with English speakers face-to-face can be a valuable experience. 3. English language clubs. Some communities or organizations host English language clubs or conversation groups where you can practice speaking in a supportive environment. 4. Online resources. Utilize online resources such as English podcasts, news websites, or YouTube channels to expose yourself to English outside of traditional learning settings. By actively seeking out opportunities to practice English and immersing yourself in English environments, you can continue to improve your skills even without using English regularly in your daily life or at work.
I really appreciate your detailed explanation. Okay, I got it. Without further delay, let's dive into my embarrassing moment. I mean, my practice time. I'm gonna share with you my everyday sentence, and you give me if there is any unnatural, uncasual, or grammatically incorrect point. Please don't hesitate to let me know right away. You got it?
Absolutely, David. Let's dive into your practice time. Go ahead and share your everyday sentence, and I'll let you know if there are any areas that could be improved. Don't hesitate to ask if you have any questions along the way.
Jennifer, today is a special day because one of my subscribers recommended me I should use sentences, question sentences for myself. So I prepared questions and answers. So you listen carefully. I'm gonna share you my open-ended question and my answer. One of my subscribers recommended me this kind of practice.
That sounds like a great suggestion from your subscriber, David. I'm glad you're incorporating open-ended questions into your practice. Go ahead and share your question and answer, and I'll listen carefully to provide feedback. Let's see how it goes.
Never mind. I already prepared my answers for that questions. Okay, here you go. Let me give you the first one. Do you like travel? Why or why not? My answer is I don't like travel because even if I choose food carefully, I often experience stomach trouble at the overseas, and I used to feel uncomfortable sleeping in a new bed.
Your response is clear and understandable, David. However, I noticed a small grammatical error. Instead of saying I don't like travel, it would be more natural to say I don't like traveling. So your answer would be I don't like traveling because even if I choose food carefully, I often experience stomach trouble overseas, and I used to feel uncomfortable sleeping in a new bed. This minor adjustment makes your sentence sound more fluent. Keep up the good work.
Okay, I got it. I say again. I don't like traveling because I say again, I don't like traveling overseas because even if I choose food carefully, I often experience stomach troubles at the overseas, and I used to feel uncomfortable sleeping in a new bed.
Excellent job, David. Your revised response sounds much more natural and fluent. Keep practicing and refining your speaking skills, and you'll continue to improve. If you have any more questions or
Okay, let me give you the second question and answer. What countries have you been, and where was the best country you've been, and why? Let me say again. Let me ask you again. What countries have you been, and where was the best country you've been, and why? My answer is I visited USA, Vietnam, Malaysia, Indonesia, Jakarta, Indonesia, Bali, Philippines, China, and I think USA, New York is best. USA, New York was the best. New York is very famous and has a large scale. Plus, it was great with iconic tourist attractions like the Statue of Liberty.
your response is quite comprehensive, David. However, there are a few small adjustments we can make to improve clarity and fluency. Instead of saying I visited USA, Vietnam, Malaysia, Indonesia, Jakarta, Indonesia, Bali, Philippines, China, you can say I've visited the USA, Vietnam, Malaysia, Indonesia, specifically Jakarta and Bali, the Philippines, and China. This makes your list of countries clearer. Additionally, you can say, I think the best country I've been to is the USA, particularly New York, instead of repeating, USA, New York was the best. This helps to streamline your answer. So your revised response would be, I visited the USA, Vietnam, Malaysia, Indonesia, specifically Jakarta and Bali, the Philippines, and China. I think the best country I've been to is the USA, particularly New York. New York is very famous and has a large scale. Plus, it was great with iconic tourist attractions like the Statue of Liberty. Keep up the good work, David.
Jennifer, I got the point. I will leave you your answer. I'll leave you your revised answer after our conversation. I'll leave you the text. Okay, I got it. And plus, I visited also Japan, Osaka, especially Osaka and Fukushima. Okay, let's keep going. I'm gonna give you third question. What country is the worst country you've been and why? My answer is, in my experience, there wasn't a worst place. I say again, in my experience, there wasn't a worst place. Each place had its own characteristics. I want to remember all that place forever.
Your response is thoughtful and well phrased, David. However, there is a small grammatical error in your answer. Instead of saying each place had its own characteristics, I want to remember all that place forever. It would be more natural to say each place had its own characteristics, and I want to remember each of them forever. This adjustment helps to clarify your intention of remembering each place you visited, so your revised response would be, in my experience, there wasn't a worse place. Each place had its own characteristics, and I want to remember each of them forever. Keep up the good work, and feel free to share any more questions you'd like to practice.
Okay, I will check and revise my answer list. Okay, I got it. Okay, let me give you the next sentence that I prepared before. This is for my everyday sentence. Listen carefully. I'm gonna practice. I want to practice speaking I mean, I want to practice with you my everyday sentence. Listen carefully. Remember that place I was telling you about? This is just simple sentence. Never mind. It's not a question. Remember that place I was telling you about? Remember that place I was telling you about. Remember that place. Listen carefully. Remember that place I was telling you about.
Your sentence is clear and easy to understand, David. However, there is a small grammatical error in your sentence. Instead of saying, remember that place I was telling you about, it would be more natural to say, remember that place I told you about. This minor adjustment makes your sentence sound more fluent. So your revised sentence would be, remember that place I told you about. Keep up the good work, and feel free to practice more sentences with me.
Okay, I got it. That makes sense. Okay, I'm gonna give you my next one. What are you doing these days? What are you doing these days? This question is for the greetings and the small talk. What are you doing these days?
Your question, what are you doing these days, is a common and natural way to start a conversation, David. It's perfect for greetings and small talk. Keep using it to engage in conversations with others and practice your English speaking skills. If you'd like, I can provide a sample response for you to use in conversations. Just let me know.
Okay, let me give you the next one. I don't know why there are so many people there. I don't know why there are so many people there. Let me practice one more time. I don't know why there are so many people there. I don't know why. Let me practice one more time. I don't know why there are so many people there.
Your sentence, I don't know why there are so many people there, is grammatically correct and natural, David. It's a common expression used to express confusion or curiosity about a situation. Keep practicing sentences like these to improve your English speaking skills. If you have any more sentences you'd like to practice, feel free to share them.
Okay, let me give you the next one. People say that parents cannot motivate their children. People say that parents cannot motivate their children.
Your sentence, people say that parents cannot motivate their children, is grammatically correct, David. It's a common statement that reflects a belief held by some people. Keep practicing sentences like these to continue improving your English speaking skills. If you have any more sentences you'd like to practice, feel free to share them with me.
Okay, let me give you the next one. I'm here to support you every step of the way. So let's continue working together to achieve your language learning goals. Let me say again. I'm here to support you every step of the way. So let's continue working together to achieve your language learning goals.
Your sentence, I'm here to support you every step of the way, so let's continue working together to achieve your language learning goals, is perfect, David. It's supportive and encouraging, which is great for motivating language learners. Keep using sentences like these to encourage yourself and others on their language learning journey. If you have any more sentences you'd like to practice or any questions, feel free to share them.
Okay, listen carefully. I'm gonna give you the next one. We decide to follow international age standard. There is good point where every individuals become 1 to 2 year younger according to the Korean age system based on their birthdays.
Your sentence, We decided to follow the international age standard. There is a good point where every individual becomes 1 to 2 years younger according to the Korean age system based on their birthdays. Is clear and understandable, David. It explains the difference between international age and the Korean age system well. Keep practicing sentences like these to improve your English speaking skills. If you have any more sentences,
I have a lot of sentences. Listen carefully. I want to I want to make sure that I understand your response correctly. I want to make sure that I understand your question correctly. Let me practice one more time. I want to make sure that I understand your question correctly.
your sentence, I want to make sure that I understand your question correctly, is grammatically correct and natural, David. It's a polite and clear way to confirm understanding when someone asks you a question. Keep practicing sentences like these to improve your English speaking skills. If you have any more sentences or questions, feel free to share them with me.
Okay, listen carefully. Could you please share me one more time you just mentioned? Could you please share me one more time you just mentioned? This is not a question. This is just my speaking practice. Could you please share me one more time you just mentioned?
Your sentence, could you please share with me one more time what you just mentioned? Is clear and understandable, David. It's a polite way to ask someone to repeat something they said. Keep practicing sentences like these to improve your English speaking skills. If you have any more sentences or questions, feel free to share them with me.
Okay, let me take a minute. Wait a minute. Let me take a second.
Take your time, David. Whenever you're ready, feel free to continue with more sentences or questions for practice.
Okay, listen carefully. Are you jumping the queue? What's with this line?
It sounds like you're practicing a sentence, David. The sentence is, are you jumping the queue? This is a question asking if someone is cutting in line. Great job practicing. If you have any more sentences or questions, feel free to share them.
There is always that one girl who can't handle her alcohol. There is always that one girl who can't handle her alcohol.
Your sentence, there is always that one girl who can't handle her alcohol, is clear and natural, David. It's a common expression used to describe someone who struggles with drinking too much alcohol. Keep up the good work with your practice. If you have any more sentences or questions,
Listen carefully, Jennifer. This line is first come, first served. This line is first come, first served.
your sentence, this line is first come, first served, is clear and natural, David. It's a common expression used to indicate that people will be served or helped in the order they arrive. Keep practicing sentences like these to improve your English speaking skills.
Listen carefully. This is where I get off. This is where I get off. We have to transfer now.
Your sentence, this is where I get off, is clear and natural, David. It's a common phrase used when someone is leaving a vehicle or transportation at a specific stop or location. Additionally, we have to transfer now is also clear and natural, indicating a need to change to a different mode of transportation or route. Keep up the great practice. If you have any more sentences or questions, feel free to share them with me.
What keeps you busy? I think you should get straight into it. What keeps you busy? I think you should get straight into it.
Your sentence, what keeps you busy? I think you should get straight into it, is clear and natural, David. It's a common way to ask someone what they are currently occupied with and suggest that they should focus on their task or responsibilities. Keep practicing sentences like these to improve your English speaking skills. If you have any more sentences or questions, feel free to share.
Listen carefully, Jennifer. I'm going to be trying to avoid yes no questions. I'm going to trying to avoid yes no questions. So what would you do? What would you do in my situation? So what would you do in my situation?
Your sentence, I'm going to try to avoid yes-no questions. So what would you do in my situation? Is clear and natural, David. It's a good strategy to avoid yes-no questions to encourage more detailed and engaging conversations. Asking someone what they would do in your situation is a great way to solicit their advice or perspective. Keep up the excellent practice. If you have any more sentences or questions,
Listen carefully, Jennifer. What would you do if you were me? What would you do if you were me? I say again. What would you do if you were me?
your sentence, what would you do if you were me? Is clear and natural, David. It's a common way to ask someone for their advice or perspective on a situation by putting themselves in your shoes. Keep up the great practice. If you have any more sentences or questions, feel free to share them with me.
Okay, listen carefully. Sorry, what was that? This is short, simple, but very powerful sentences for language learning beginners. Sorry, what was that? I'm not sure I understand. Sorry, what was that?
Your sentence, sorry, what was that? Is indeed short, simple, and very powerful, David. It's a polite and effective way to ask someone to repeat what they said when you didn't hear or understand them. Keep practicing sentences like these to improve your English speaking skills. If you have any more sentences or questions,
Let me give you the last one for today. It's hard to say. I didn't tell you this earlier because I was mad.
your sentence, it's hard to say. I didn't tell you this earlier because I was mad, is clear and natural, David. It expresses difficulty in discussing something and explains the reason for not mentioning it earlier. Keep up the great practice. If you have any more sentences or questions in the future, feel free to share them with me. Have a great day.
Jennifer, I want to keep going with you, but it's time job. It's time to wrap up things up. Bye now, Jennifer. Have a nice Friday. Take care.
Goodbye, David.